Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha, Kripasindubhyevacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo, Namo Namaha. So I was saying that, so Srila Prabhupada, many times, of course, he made several lectures on Vyas Puja, but one thing I remember very clearly is that Srila Prabhupada, he always mentioned that someone may see this as what is called anthropolatry. Anthropolatry means worship of man. Sometimes Srila Prabhupada would use the term, excuse me, I just had a little mucus from yesterday. He would sometimes use the term anthropomorphism, but actually anthropomorphism technically means, although we understood what Prabhupada meant, it technically means that one worships some animated or some animal or some other figure as a man, and therefore sometimes demigod worship, because sometimes demigods look a little bit like something different from a human. That's called anthropomorphism. But usually it means, like in the ancient civilizations, of course, even in Trinidad, there were the indigenous tribes, and North America, South America, even in India, Africa, like the American Indians with the US, they had the totem pole where they had different figures and they worshiped them as different gods. So anyway, that's just a technical point. So Prabhupada said, this is not what we're doing here. But Prabhupada said, this Vyas Puja comes from Vyasadeva. That's why we call it Vyas Puja. Although we may be worshiping our spiritual master, but Srila Prabhupada made it very clear in one of his famous Vyas Puja offerings, to which Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur recognized him and told his disciples, anything he writes, you publish it, which of course they didn't follow. And Srila Prabhupada said, he quoted from the Bhagavatam, Acharyam man bijaniyan navamanyata karichit namartya buddhi useta sarvadeva maya guru. That from the Bhagavatam, we understand that one should worship the Acharya and never be envious of the Acharya or think that he is an ordinary person. But actually he has within himself all the qualities of all the devas. And of course, in the Bhagavatam, it also says, Yashasti Bhaktir Bhagavati Kinchana Sarvar Gunais Tattva Samasate Sura, that that when one is actually situated in Yashasti Bhaktir Bhagavati Kinchana, when one has Bhagavat Bhakti, worshiping the Supreme Lord Akinchana without any self-interest, then that person has within them all the qualities of the demigods, otherwise very qualified person. So to address this particular point of man worship, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he actually spoke a very wonderful, very wonderful speech, where he said basically that that who is this? You must all be thinking here in the audience, who is this person? Everyone here has an ordinary seat But this person has a big, lofty seat. And just like an animal from the zoo, sitting there, a big brute, and so complacent to receive so many adulations, so many praises, sitting there so contently, hearing it all, soaking it all in. So, and this person, and he says, I agree. People should instruct me about this, but I am so arrogant that people fear to instruct me that I will chastise them. He said, therefore, I put my case, because Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said that because it was true. It was not because he was arrogant, but because he was so spiritually qualified. He knew all the Vedas, everything in the Vedas by memory. He could pull any verse out of any Veda, out of any scripture, out of any Purana, and state it. So people were afraid. Even when Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was sent by Bhaktivinoda Thakur to speak to the Smarta Brahmins about that the Gaudiya Vaishnavas were actually qualified. They were qualified Brahmins. So when they heard he was coming, they were upset. So he said, don't worry, I won't quote from Bhagavad Gita. I won't quote from Srimad Bhagavatam. I won't quote from, he gave a whole bunch of things he wouldn't quote from. And then he quoted from other things, and they couldn't even speak. He was so qualified. So he said, I have to put my case. I have to put my case before Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And what is that case? What is his case that he's putting before Mahaprabhu? He's putting in the case that Jari Dekatari Kaha Krishnupadesh Amara Gyaya Guru Anyatare Desh. He said, what can I do? This is the instruction of Mahaprabhu. And how can this instruction be there when Mahaprabhu said, Trinadapi Sunichena Taroriva Sehishnuna Amani Namani Dina Kitaniya Sadahari, that one should be more humble than a blade of grass. So how can I be sitting here on this seat? He said, Amara Gyaya Guru, that the order from my Gurudev is that I should also take up this service. And not only should I take up this service, but Jari Dekatari Kaha, I should spread this to everyone. He said, so in doing so, I must obey my Guru, who is telling me that I must do this. I must obey Sriman Mahaprabhu, who's telling me to do this. But I must not occupy this post for self-aggrandizement, or for doing malice to others, or for causing difficulties to other persons. I must do it because it is the order of the spiritual master. He said, otherwise, if I don't do it, I am being negligent. I am denying the instruction and the authority of my spiritual master. I am giving in to interpretation and not following. Just as we just read the words from Srila Prabhupada in his purport, that one has to follow. One has to be submissive, one has to inquire, and one has to serve according to the instructions of the spiritual master, not interpreting, not inventing. The biggest problem in the world, as I've mentioned maybe in some class in Trinidad, about religion, is that the most popular religion is whatever I believe. And I've also found that this is creeping in to ISKCON. People are interpreting. People think because they see something wrong that I will now invent my own process of Krishna consciousness. Or I will follow my guru, but I won't follow anyone else. Even though my guru has told me, has given me initiation under the guidance of other devotees. One time Srila Prabhupada, he was asked the question that that if you what Prabhupada, one devotee said, Prabhupada, this is the first time I'm seeing you. So how can I get the association of the spiritual master, which is recommended? And Prabhupada said, temple president, he is spiritual master. Otherwise, meaning that he is a spiritual master, at least has the authority of the spiritual master in administrative issues. And other senior devotees who are Shiksha Gurus, who are working there, who are the ones, especially in our ISKCON movement. We can say that Srila Prabhupada, he did everything himself. But in our ISKCON movement, it's usually temple preachers, community preachers. They're doing the work. They're meeting the people. They're giving them books. They're bringing them into Krishna consciousness. They're teaching them. They're giving them classes. And then someone who initiates comes, and they also preach, and they also try to enliven their disciples and all devotees. But they're not doing all the work. This is a pluralistic society where we have many instructors, just as Bhaktivinoda Thakur says in the beginning of Kalyana Kalpataru, I offer my prostrated obeisances to my spiritual master and to my one Diksha Guru and to my unlimited Shiksha Gurus. And of course, in the Bhagavatam, we find that the Brahmin who defines everything as his Guru. And actually a devotee, when they're on the Mahabhagavat platform, because they can see Krishna everywhere, then they see Krishna in everything that happens in their life, and therefore they see everything as Guru. That is the position of the Mahabhagavat. And therefore the Mahabhagavat sometimes doesn't preach. Sometimes they come to the Madhyam platform and preach, and sometimes they remain on that, seeing that everything is perfectly arranged by the Supreme Personality of God. So then this instruction, Jadi Rekatari Kaha, was given by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. So Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, am I to give the mantra? And then the disciple, I instruct the disciple, now you beat me on the head with your shoe. Now you hit me with a broomstick. Now you neglect everything I say because I'm not acting in pure humility. But my humility is to follow the instruction of Mahaprabhu, to follow the instruction of my Guru Dev. And if I don't do that, if I don't sit on this seat and give instruction, then I am not fulfilling. And if I don't accept that people say Jai or Guru Dev or something else in my praise, because this is not praise for me. It is praise for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I am just his instrument. And Srila Prabhupada said again and again, and in several Vyas Puja lectures, Srila Prabhupada said, this is the secret. The secret is parampara. The secret is that Krishna is giving the message, Teni Brahma Hridaya Adikavaye. He has given the message to Brahma. Brahma has given the message to Narada. Narada has given the message to Vyasa. And thus the disciplic succession continues. And it is taking that instruction from the disciplic succession and passing it on to everyone else. That is the real meaning of spiritual life. That is the real meaning of parampara. That is the real meaning of Guru. Just like sometimes one is hesitant to act as Guru in the presence of someone else's or someone who's superior. That is Vaishnava etiquette. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came in contact with Nityananda Prabhu, Nityananda Prabhu joined his Leela, his pastimes. Then after they met and they had their ecstatic kirtan, the next day was Guru Purnima. So on that Guru Purnima, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, let us all worship Nityananda. He is the Guru. Because Nityananda is Balaram. Balaram is considered to be the Guru, the first person after Krishna that brings everyone to Krishna. So, and of course, then there's the disciplic succession. So, they went to the house of Srivas Thakur. Srivas prepared all the paraphernalia, and there was a big garland. So, Mahaprabhu told Nityananda, so we are honoring you. Please give the garland to Vyasadeva. They had an asan with some representation. I don't know if they had a painting or what of Vyasadeva. So Nityananda took the garland and walked toward Vyasadeva. But then he started turning around. And he turned around and looked at Mahaprabhu and went to Mahaprabhu and put the garland on him, showing that even though one may be honored as Guru, one always sees that I am simply doing this service on behalf of my spiritual master. This is the meaning of Vyasa Puja. And of course, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he said that if one thinks that I cannot do this, and Srila Prabhupada also said the same thing in this instruction given to Kurma Brahman by Mahaprabhu, the next verse after he said Jari Deka Tare Kaha, because Mahaprabhu anticipated that Kurma Brahman would say, I'm not qualified. I'm a grihasta. I'm living at home. So he said, Kabu na bhadi be tomara vishay taranga, purarapi e thani, pabe morasanga. That if you follow this instruction, your materialistic life at home, or vishaya taranga means following the current of materialistic society. Otherwise, that was his concern. I don't want to, I'm being overwhelmed by this materialistic society. This current of materialistic life or your materialistic life at home will not obstruct your spiritual advancement. Indeed, if you follow these regulative principles, we will again meet here, or rather, you will never lose my company. So on the basis of that, Srila Prabhupada said that just as Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur was a grihasta. Not only was he a grihasta, he was a magistrate. He had to spend his whole day, although his whole day was basically 4 hours or 6 hours sometimes in the court, because he was so amazing. He could try cases in 5 minutes, which normally would take anyone else months or years. As we all know, we've all had, well, anyone who's had a legal case has had this experience, that it could take a year, especially in India, maybe Trinidad, I don't know, but in India, also in the US, sometimes a case can go on for 1 year, 2 years. In India, it can go on for 20 years. And I'll mention one case where the man died, and his children took the case, and they died. And then the judge died, and the lawyer died, and so just the case disappeared. So, but Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he had children. But still, he was the Acharya. Prabhupada said he was Paramahansa. So Prabhupada said, I want my Grihastha devotees to be Paramahansa. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said in his famous speech that he said the materialistic gurus, meaning the people from Apa Sampradayas, because of their envy, they will quote from Bhagavatam what we just quoted, Acharya Mam Bijaniyan, that they will say, who is this person? You know, this person is not, he's envious of his guru, and therefore he's assuming. But they're saying that because they're envious because a real Vaishnava guru who is actually humble in all of his dealings with others, but thoroughly and properly represents his spiritual master, which is the purpose of Vyas Puja, then people will go and listen to him, and therefore the envious pseudo-gurus will criticize him for doing that when they themselves simply want honor and respect. So the important thing on Vyas Puja day, as Srila Prabhupada said to his spiritual master, let me simply represent you. Let me, if I have to take crores and crores of births in this material world, let me simply always remain your servant. And what did Srila Prabhupada say about his relationship with Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur? He said, every time, if you look, anytime there's some credit, Srila Prabhupada would say, the credit goes to my Guru Maharaj. And one time he said, if I have any credit, it is due to two things. One, this is the mercy and the arrangement of my Guru Maharaj. And this is also because he has instilled in me complete faith in the holy name. If I have any qualification, these are my qualifications, that I have firm faith in the instructions of my Guru, and I have the conviction that I should follow him. Actually, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu describes faith, what is full faith? Faith, Shraddha Sabde, Vishvasya Kalhe, Sudvida Nishtai, Krishna Bhakti, Kaila Sarva Karma Krita Hoy. That faith means that I have the unbreakable and constant faith and conviction that by performing Krishna consciousness, everything else will be accomplished. Because this is the instruction. This was the instructions of Srila Prabhupada. One time Srila Prabhupada said that to one devotee, I think there were a few devotees there, and Srila Prabhupada said that if you, please make sure your microphones are, Prabhupada said that, sorry, I lost my train of thought, there's some noise came on. Srila Prabhupada said that his spiritual master was the most perfect person, and that his spiritual master was sending, Prabhupada was actually crying, that he is so merciful to me that he has sent all of you, he was speaking to his disciples, he has sent all of you to carry out his mission. So on one hand, Srila Prabhupada is sitting on the Vyasasana, and he is instructing us. Sometimes he's shouting. You know, one time Bhakti Charu Maharaj mentioned, since he has unfortunately left our presence, such a great loss. Actually, I was trying to get him to come to Trinidad, and he said, maybe I'll come, but anyway, it didn't happen. So he said one time, Prabhupada, when this was in the last month, I think maybe 2 months of Prabhupada's time with us, his physical time with us in this world. And so he said that Prabhupada said, he generally wasn't eating, but then one day Prabhupada said to fix this and this and this. And he told him to get, I think it was bindi or, okra, and make an okra preparation. It was either okra or no, it was Karela. And so he went to the market and got everything, but he forgot the Karela. So then Prabhupada, he came into Prabhupada's room, he began to cook the other things, and he sent a devotee to the marketplace to look for a Karela. And the devotee came back and said, I can't find it anywhere. And he was in anxiety. So when Prabhupada called him, he said, so everything is there? And he said, yes. He said, actually, I didn't tell Prabhupada the truth. I lied to him because I didn't have the Corella. And so then the devotee, finally, he started asking people, and he found one Corella. So Bhakti Maharaj very quickly went and fixed that Corella for Prabhupada. And so he brought it in a little later than everything else. And Prabhupada took it, and then he heard the bell ring very, very strongly. Sometimes Prabhupada would go ding, ding, ding. That meant you come. But if he went ding, 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 it meant that he was angry. So he came in, Bhakti Maharaj, and Prabhupada said, why have you made this Corella like this? I have taught you personally how to do this. Why are you doing it like this? And he said Prabhupada was angry with him for 3 days. 3 days. And finally, he said, Prabhupada, actually, I had forgotten the Corella and I didn't tell you. And Prabhupada said, yes, I know. That's why I chastised you. So immediately, when Prabhupada decided that the chastisement was sufficient, there was no more anger. So this is Acharya. This is the spiritual master. There may be anger to instruct the disciple, but at the same time, his inner feeling is always, my Guru Maharaj has sent these people. And of course, that may even be more relevant in our case, because Srila Prabhupada actually, he went out empty-handed, and he started this Krishna consciousness movement. Whereas most of us have taken up those of us who give initiation, we've taken up this responsibility. And therefore, it's not that we're teaching everyone everything. We're giving spiritual instruction. We may teach certain things to certain devotees, but mostly it's the other devotees who are teaching most of the details of Krishna consciousness, and we're enforcing that. So this is the position, and this is the difficulty. Therefore, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said on another occasion that being guru is the most difficult thing, because you have to sit on the Vyasasana, and you have to criticize the Vaishnavas, and then which is something that's condemned in all the Shastras. You have to criticize the Vaishnavas, and you have to tell everyone what to do, when actually the position of the Vaishnava is to never criticize anyone and to always be an obedient servant. So he said, this is the difficulty of being guru. Otherwise, he's saying to do this, and at the same time, within one's own mind, within one's own heart, to maintain that position. So when we think of Vyas Puja and the Vyas Puja of Srila Prabhupada, we should see this example, the example of what Srila Prabhupada said himself, that the spiritual master is on the one hand like a rose, meaning very soft and gentle, and on the other hand, the spiritual master can be hard as a thunderbolt. And actually, Srila Prabhupada said on several occasions that that a spiritual master who does not chastise the disciple is committing violence. And
it was so amazing lecture going on, but due to the time constraints, I had to stop it. I will share the link in the WhatsApp group. So now going to the glorification of Maharaj, I will share the presentation first. So about His Holiness Guru Prasad Swami Maharaj. So basically about the early life and education of Maharaj. Maharaj was born in United States in a prosperous family of German descent. And actually Maharaj was born on the very same day on the appearance day of Shri Shri Radha Kund. And it's very spiritually significant that Maharaj was born on the very same day on the appearance day of Radha Kund. About his learnings from youth, he had studied nuclear physics at Purdue University, and he later took transfer to the University of Texas. And because one of the reasons which he took the shift towards the University of Texas was his interest shifted towards the spirituality. And over there, he had encountered the devotees of Hare Krishna movement. So Maharaj was in service in the military stationed, and he was stationed in Panama. Maybe it's in the next slide. Yeah. So during his military service in Panama, he got contact with ISKCON devotees, and that was the point where his life's direction was transformed. And thus we can see that how Maharaj sincerely grew up as a very serious devotee in ISKCON. And there were many places where Maharaj was transferred, but coming to Panama, he met ISKCON devotees, and then his spiritual life started. About initiation and sannyas of Maharaj. So basically, Maharaj joined ISKCON in Costa Rica after his military tenure. He joined ISKCON community in San Jose, Costa Rica, and he served there as served there in the temple by distributing books. And it was around the year from 1975 to 78. Meanwhile, seeing how amazing he was a book distributor, he was sent to Mayapur to attend the Gaur Purnima festival and Vrindavan festival in 1976. And over there, he was personally initiated by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. And so he got both Harinam and Brahman initiations from Srila Prabhupada in that 76 festival. And before getting sannyas, Maharaj had various leadership designations in Costa Rica. I mean, his spiritual and organization capacities were uh, directed towards becoming the temple president of Costa Rica. And Maharaj was very focused about engaging devotees in Sankirtan and building Vaishnava communities around in the Western countries. About sannyas initiation, Maharaj got sannyas in 1982 in Brazil, and from then he was called as His Holiness Guru Prasad Swami Maharaj. So services and contributions of Maharaj. So in 1975, Maharaj began book distributing in the United States of America, and Maharaj had a very significant role in preaching in Central America and Latin America. So countries like Costa Rica, Panama, and in Latin countries like Arizona and Costa Rica and several others, northern Brazil, Colombia, etc. So about his appointment to GBC, seeing that how much he had contributed in the preaching in Central America and Latin America. During the Gaur Purnima festival in 1987, he was appointed as the GBC. And when we see the leadership qualities of Maharaj, Maharaj is a very amazing leader, but with a deep, humble position, and he's very scholarly in the scriptures. We might have seen the way he was sharing the experiences. Is very scholarly and very humble at the same time. About the leadership roles, so Maharaj was temple president in Costa Rica in 1978, joined the GBC in 1987, was zonal secretary for these all countries. Like these are some countries which I can't even spell out. So apart from this, Maharaj was GBC for zonal secretaries for Latin America, Caribbean nations, Southwestern United States like Arizona, and he also served as co-zonal secretary for several of these regions. And you would be amazed to know that Maharaj is also GBC for many places in India post the departure of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. Guru Prasad Maharaj has been taking the responsibility of becoming GBCs of various places where His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj used to be. And even with ISKCON Ujjain, Maharaj is the GBC of ISKCON Ujjain. And as of now, the main GBC chairman. So about the communication and devotee care. was one of the very specific quality of Maharaj, which was emphasized over the years. So Maharaj places very strong emphasis on clear, open communication so that it could facilitate cooperation and harmony amongst the devotees. It could be individually within the communities, etc. But he was very specific about how devotee communication and how devotee care should be. And he used to promote cooperation amongst devotees and communities and offer guidance on collective leadership and unity. So, like, as we have seen that Maharaj has been preaching in so many countries, so it's a multilingual digital presence. Maharaj has been preaching through various online platforms as well. Of like Maharaj has his official website, and it's available in various languages like English, Spanish, Portuguese, so that devotees worldwide can connect and take guidance and counseling from Maharaj. So Maharaj has been into so many leadership positions, but still he tries his best to be available for all the devotees who need his particular help in the life of Krishna conscious. So legacy of Maharaj. So pioneer of Krishna consciousness in Latin America, planting Srila Prabhupada's mission and fertile new lands. So it's been known that in Latin America there wasn't so much preaching until Maharaj started it out. And he's a dedicated preacher and sannyasi who traveled tirelessly to open temples and inspire devotees. Strong leader and GBC member, guiding ISKCON communities across the North, Central, and South America. Teacher of cooperation and unity. Like Maharaj is known for this, particularly to cooperate amongst the society and be united to serve Srila Prabhupada as an institution together, emphasizing communication as a cornerstone of spiritual society. As I said, multilingual missionary reaching people in English, Spanish, and Portuguese. Continues to inspire through his website, classes, and personal guidance. Remembered as a visionary leader, humble servant, and faithful disciple of Srila Prabhupada. So there were many qualities which we describe about Maharaj. And apart from this, Maharaj has been a very visionary with how ISKCON should be with the compassionate communication, how we should be clear with the teachings of Srila Prabhupada, not deviating away. So that was one of the I was hearing one of the lectures where Maharaj was emphasizing that devotees in ISKCON shouldn't deviate with time, uh, keeping the teachings of Srila Prabhupada as the standards. So he's very visionary that if we want to keep the society, International Society for Krishna Consciousness united, we all have to work together towards what Srila Prabhupada gave, and to keep that intact over the years will be the main foundation stone that will keep ISKCON together. So that was one of the important points I just thought to share. I hope my screen was visible. Maybe I feel it was paused again, but yeah. So we are very grateful that Maharaj will be joining us in Ujjain for the Srila Prabhupada Vyas Puja Memorial, Srila Prabhupada Memorial Festival and Vyas Puja of His Holiness Bhakti Swami Guru Maharaj. So we have this amazing offer to get the association of Maharaj, to get direct guidance, and to hear from him personally. If you are joining for Srila Prabhupada Memorial Festival, don't miss to attend lectures by Maharaj and personal association, whatever he gives. So see you all there in SPMF Festival. And regarding the class tomorrow, as guided by Maharaj, tomorrow we won't be having the class as it's Radhastami festival. So devotees might be engaged in various services. We'll join next week on Saturday. Hare Krishna. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. His Holiness Guru Prasad Swami Maharaj ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.